Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Johnny Berba and I help men to get control over their anxiety so they can live the life that they want. So in this video I'm going to get straight into it. Apologies for the cough and the cold, I'm getting over the flu. So I feel great anyway, almost recovered. So I'm going to talk about in this video why most of the experts, or the so-called experts on YouTube, who claim that they can teach you how to overcome social anxiety, they're not fully telling the truth. As a matter of fact, it's not honest, and it's definitely not going to help someone who's really suffering with social anxiety, who wants to get more comfortable and confident around people and move forward in their life and live the life that they want. So I'm usually a person where I don't like being critical of people, anything like that. I like lifting people up, but I think it's about time that I spoke up about this, because I'm a person who has suffered with social anxiety as well all their life, and I've been helping people for the last 8 years with social anxiety. So when I went online and done some research, because I still want to learn about things, obviously I don't know everything. When I went online, I saw a lot of these experts who position themselves as experts, mental health workers, talking about social anxiety. When I was listening to the advice, I was thinking to myself, this isn't going to help a person. That would never have helped me. I've got real experience. I've got 13 years experience actually facing thousands of social situations. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. I've also coached people, thousands of people, and I've not coached them safely over Skype. I've coached people in person, people that have travelled all around the world, from America, from Canada, Germany. You know, the list goes on, that have come and worked with me one-on-one, and I've taken them out in public and helped them to speak to people in person. So I've got 8 years coaching experience, and I've also got half of a lifetime's worth of experience. I'm 36 now, of facing my own social anxiety. So if you stay on this video, I promise I'm going to give you the truth. And I'm not going to trick you. I'm not going to say that you've got to pay me money or you've got to download this ebook and all that kind of rubbish. I'm not going to do that. So I went online and I looked at it, and look, I'm gonna be straight here. Yeah, a lot of them seem like good people, and they're good-willed, and they've got good hearts, and they're trying to help people. But I'm sorry, that advice just isn't going to cut it. It still, to me, looks like they're protecting their own ego, and they're more concerned about how they look on camera and getting their view count up and their subscribers list, and getting you to join their memberships. And listen, I haven't got a problem with people making a living, running a business and trying to sell their programs, because I've been doing that for years myself. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem I have is when they're not actually giving people a good product. They're not giving the truth. And this is a subject that I really hold this close to my heart, because I know what it feels like to struggle with this, and I have struggled with it all my life, and I've seen the pain it's caused people. And I think if anyone's qualified, it's me. And 2 years ago I had a mental breakdown, and I had 6 weeks in a psychiatric mental hospital, and I'll go into that in a second. So I wrote an article about this. If you want to read the article, the link's below. If you don't want to read the article, no problem, you can watch the video, because I'm going to give everything in this video anyway, as I said, for free. So first and foremost, the mistake that I see them making is they don't talk about the amount of work that a person with social anxiety has to be willing to put in if they want to see significant improvements in their social confidence, if they want to get more comfortable with eye contact, if they want to feel more relaxed around people, if they want to feel less paranoid, if they can actually make friends. They don't really talk about that. They just gloss it over with this whole feel-good nonsense, you know, do these free tips, do a couple of breathing exercises, and it's a load of crap. It's not true. I'm sorry, but a couple of breathing exercises are not going to help you to overcome social anxiety. And talking therapy alone is not going to help a person with social phobia. Yes, talking to someone and having a therapist, if you've got a lot of mental health problems, can be really helpful, and it can help you to a certain extent, because everyone can do with a shoulder to cry on. But for someone that actually wants to get control of their social anxiety and lessen it and be able to socialise with people and go out in public, that's not going to be enough help. And that's what a lot of these experts are claiming. Just because you've been to university and you've got a degree in psychology or whatever they call it today, that doesn't mean necessarily you're an expert. And just because someone's got 300,000 subscribers or because they've got 500,000 views on the video, it doesn't mean they're telling the truth. And a lot of people who go on the internet are very naive. Just because someone's got 4K quality video or good branding and an introduction in their videos, it doesn't mean that they got the truth. Half the time they haven't. Anyone can invest in branding. I mean, I've improved my branding. So I'm making a point here of saying it isn't true. That would never have worked for me. And you can't bullshit me. I'm sorry. I've been teaching people for 8 years. I've worked with people all around the world. I've changed people's lives. So one of the things I'm going to say today that's going to shock a lot of people is someone who's got severe social anxiety, you cannot get rid of it 100%. It's not true. Because I'll be straight and honest with you now. I still suffer with social anxiety in certain situations myself. I've done hours and hours of practice and I've been very successful, and I'm a very confident person. So a lot of these experts are not even being honest about their own social anxiety. Think about it. A lot of these titles that they write are not true. When they say 3 easy steps to get rid of social anxiety, you can't fully get rid of social anxiety. That's like saying you can get rid of fear, because social anxiety, social fear, every single human being has a healthy amount of social anxiety. You wouldn't be human otherwise. Now, obviously, there's people that have got varying degrees of anxiety. If you're a person that's got social anxiety to the extreme, to where I had it over 10 years ago, where you can't come out of your house, you can't make eye contact with people, you haven't got any social life, you haven't got a girlfriend if you're a guy, you can't go on dates, you physically can't go into restaurants. I had all this, and I've wrote this in the article. Then of course you need to get help. But the only solution that actually works is exposure therapy, which is actually a psychological term, or in the psychiatric help, or whatever you call it. And I came to that conclusion without even knowing what that word meant until I learned later on. I was doing it anyway. Exposure therapy is where you face the fear in real life, in real time. You're not going to overcome social anxiety just by doing Skype with an expert, or just by sitting in a counsellor's chair and talking about your childhood problems and all of your issues. That will help you to feel better in the moment or for an hour. But when you go back into your life, if you don't actually go out and face your anxiety, I'm going to give you every single step in this video for free. And there's no catches or tricks. I want people to have this information so they can actually change their life. It's changed my life. So first of all, we get lost in language a lot of the time, and it's marketing. We use the word overcome. I'm going to be honest, I've probably used it in my videos a couple of years ago, and I've used it, not out of badness, because I want to help people, because we get lost in language. We just follow what everyone else is saying. That's why I help people to get control. You can get full control over your social anxiety. You can't completely get rid of it. But look, that doesn't mean, for example, if you're a person that can't go into restaurants and make eye contact and order a meal and sit down, you can overcome that. I overcome that. Years ago, I couldn't go to restaurants on my own. I physically couldn't do it. I was too frightened of people. I was too frightened of them looking me in the eye and me getting awkward. I couldn't feel relaxed around crowds. I had paranoia. I thought everyone was judging me. I thought people could see that there's something wrong with this guy. He's strange. So I avoided social situations. I couldn't get on London Underground by myself. I couldn't go into a shop and buy a pair of trainers. I had to get my mum to buy them for me. I could only do these things if I was with a friend. If I was with a friend, I could go to a restaurant. I still felt uneasy around people. I couldn't go on first dates with women. I couldn't sit down like this. I couldn't do YouTube videos. I couldn't do public speaking. So you're really getting this from someone who has had it and suffered of it. Where I am now, which is exciting, where I want you to be, is my social anxiety used to be like that, massive around people. Now I've reduced it, but it hasn't fully gone, and it's never going to fully go. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but it's better to tell you it's never ever fully going to go. And these experts lie because they want to sell their products and make money and grow their channels and grow their egos. And look, I've already grown a successful business. I've made money, I've changed people's lives, I've built a brand. It's nice if my channel grows more, and that's one of my goals, to grow the message more. But I don't prioritize money first, and I don't prioritize my own ego. I prioritize doing what an expert should do, which is helping people and giving them the truth, and if you haven't got the truth, and you don't know, or you know very little, then they should say that. They should say in this video, you know, this is going to help you to a certain extent. My one will take you the full way. So yes, there's certain social situations that I've helped clients and myself where there's no anxiety no more. So yes, you can overcome social anxiety in certain aspects, but there's always going to be areas that are going to trigger you. Triggering points are when unconsciously you go into a social situation and it reminds you of a past negative traumatic experience you had in your childhood. For example, when I was younger in school, I had a traumatic memory where the teacher said, "Can you come up to the board and read this out to the class?" And I was trembling with anxiety and fear. I was nervous. I couldn't do it. And when I got to the front of the class, I got the book out and my jaw was shaking. I couldn't get, and I was stuttering, and everyone laughed in the class. And the teacher tried to push me. And when I went back and sat down, I felt like a disgrace. And that put tremendous amount of fear in me for many years to come. So that was an experience that messed me up. So what happened to me was I got very depressed in my early 20s, and I made a video which went viral, and I didn't try and get a viral video, and I wasn't marketing tricks. I just told the truth on camera, and the video's got 128,000 views. So I'm not saying it's bad if an expert's got a lot of views on their channel. My point is, it doesn't matter whether you've got 1 million views on a video or 1 view, or they've got 1 million subscribers or 100, or you make £1 million or £10. My point is, are you telling people the truth? And I am telling people the truth. I know that for a fact. I can hold my head up high. And I'm not trying to come across like a perfect person, but I know my stuff. I know what I'm talking about. Most of these experts don't demonstrate what they preach. I demonstrated thousands of hours of footage of me going out, talking to women in public, real people, human beings, not actresses, real people with a camera on me, and that's what made me very successful. And I didn't think about these things as some little sneaky marketing tactic. I just put the truth out onto a camera and told people. So in periods in my life, yes, my social anxiety's gone away, but there's times where it comes back. So social anxiety is like the weather if you've had it. One day in London, for example, it's sunny, it's lovely. Next day it's horrible, it's raining. And that's what social anxiety is like. It's an ongoing battle. So I'm still getting better with my social anxiety. I'm way better than what I was. I've given hundreds of public talks. I couldn't do that before. So you can massively improve, yes. So I'm not saying that these experts are not saying anything that's true. Of course, there's a few things that they say that I agree on. But generally, fundamentally, they're holding back a lot of the truth. They're scared to say. They're not talking about the real dark parts of social anxiety, the paranoia that a person has to live with, the paranoia of trusting people, the paranoia of worrying what people are thinking about you, worrying about what you're going to say, worrying about how you look, how you come across. I went through all that. And those feelings for me haven't completely gone away, but they've massively marginalised, they've reduced because of the amount of work I've done. And I don't hear these experts saying you've got to put a lot of work in, because I think they're scared if they say that they're not going to get clients onto their programs, and they're not going to gain revenue and grow their channels. And I don't care about that. I'm more concerned about making a difference to people, whether they pay me or not, because it makes me feel good to tell the truth and be honest and actually make a real difference to people, and not just pretend and have a social media personality because I want to be cool and liked. I'm well past that bullshit. Well past that. So I feel really grateful that I've got the courage and the confidence to do this video, because before I wouldn't have done it. I'll just thought, okay, I don't want to don't want to criticize anyone, but people criticize me online, so I'm fine with it. I get loads of love and support, so I get all those things anyway. Look, you can make money and you can have a big YouTube channel and tell the truth, but these people are not telling the truth, and they're not talking about their own issues. A lot of them hide that. You know, an expert, the best experts in the world are always the ones that have suffered just like their clients and patients have, and they're still working through it, or they've made big changes. So I haven't overcome my social anxiety, and I'm never going to fully overcome it. I'm not going to lie to myself and lie to my followers and fans and clients, whoever I'm talking to. But I've massively improved it, and I'm a very socially confident person, and so can you be if you do what I'm going to say what you do. Okay, So, tip number one, or really step number one, is the best thing for a person with social anxiety is to go to social events. Now, let me just make a point of saying, I say this in my videos now and I mean it. If you're a person that's got very severe mental health problems, then under those circumstances, you probably want to seek professional help and go and see a doctor, because you might need medication and you might need therapy and you might need time in hospital. I'm not a professional mental health worker, I'm not qualified, but I'm qualified in the area I'm talking about, which is social confidence, helping people to face their fears in their life. So irrespective of the advice I'm giving you that I know that works, I would say to someone who's very ill that maybe doing what I'm telling you to do might not be the best for you at this moment in time if you're too sick to go out and talk to people. Because when I had a mental breakdown 2 years ago, I needed professional help and medication to get me back to being normal. But in between all those years, what I'm telling you to do now worked for me, and I've taught it to thousands of people on all different programs. So you have to go to social events and you have to build momentum. That's a big part of social anxiety control. And momentum, what momentum means is when you do something continuously without taking long breaks. Example, someone with social anxiety who's really serious about overcoming it. Again, I got lost in the language. Well, getting control over it, because you don't fully overcome it. Overcoming it as much as they possibly can, right? Because it's like I said, it's like saying, I'm going to give you this ebook, or I'm going to teach this method that's going to take your fear away. You can't take fear away. You cannot. Fear is part of the human condition. Social anxiety, social fear, which is fear in its essence. So you can't get rid of it, but what a person can do is they can get desensitized. That's the difference. Desensitized doesn't mean that you've completely overcome the emotional, biological reaction to something, but it means that you've become accustomed to it, you've become used to it. And that's not the same as fully overcoming in my understanding of dictionary definition and what I'm explaining. So the more a person exposes themselves to social situations, the fear will still be there, but it will calm down and the confidence will increase. And that's what I do for people. That's what I've done for me. That's what I'm doing for you now. So the only other person I can think, and I know there's a few more, who's completely honest about social anxiety, and I've got great respect for the man, is Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, who says exactly what I've been saying for years, and he teaches the same. He's fantastic, and he's way bigger than I am and better than I am. But he says that he tells the truth. I give him credit. So I'm not knocking anyone who's successful. I'm knocking any expert who's lying, who's not telling people the truth. Jordan Peterson tells the 100% truth, and I know it because I've faced it. I've lived this stuff and got the results for myself and for many people, not just me. And he says, with a socially phobic person, you don't make them less anxious, you make them more courageous, more confident by taking them out and gradually exposing them to social interactions and teaching them how to interact with people. That's exactly what I've done for myself without reading any books. I didn't go to university, I didn't do these degrees, I didn't sit in armchairs with therapists until many years later, and that was to talk about other issues, not my social anxiety. It was to talk about stuff in childhood, just to see if it could help. It helped a little bit, but it wasn't the full solution. I went out, practiced for hours. So this is what I done. I went on dates. I spoke to thousands of women to improve because I had no confidence with women growing up. I got rejected at school. When I went to school, when there was quite nasty kids, girls and boys were nasty to me. Called me ugly, called me a geek, called me stupid. I had a lot of name calling, but obviously that's in the past. I forgive people when kids are young, girls, guys, they do bad things. I done some things that were, we all do bad things when we're younger, we make mistakes. So that's well in the past. But I'm just making a point of saying where my trauma come from. And I grew up in a violent area where there was a lot of knife crime, gangs, robbing, and occasional shootings. And I was bullied a lot, and I had to start sticking up for myself when I was younger and fighting back. So I've got a good reason to have social anxiety, and I probably have post-traumatic stress and all those things. But my whole thing, I've forgiven, moved on. I forgive everything. I'm in a great place in my life. I'm actually happy in my life. So this is not someone who is like bitter or upset. I'm well blessed how far I come. I never imagined I could help others. And just to be brave enough to talk openly about it and tell people is something that I still battle with. And a lot of people probably would be surprised by that of me because I'm an expert. And I've done over 2,000 YouTube videos. Half of them have not been uploaded. I've taken some down. There's under 1,000 on my channel now. I've done hundreds of public talks. I've done hundreds of coaching hours one-on-one. I've done weekend confidence programs, coaching 6 people at a time on my own. I run fearless events every month in London. There's up to 10, 20 people. So I'm very skilled and socially accustomed and confident with talking to people. And I've travelled overseas, done loads of Skype coaching, I've done online programs, written articles, been on radio shows, been on hundreds of podcast shows. And I've been to parties. I've been to social gatherings, I've been to other social anxiety events, which were actually really good on meetup.com with really good people. So there's a lot of good people out there, but there's a lot of people out there that are not honest. And I can look at their marketing. I'm smart, I understand business, I understand marketing. They're using SEO, search engine optimization to get more people on the views. They're using all these little strategies that I can see through. Okay, fair enough. If you're going to use a strategy, but give people the truth. I've got no problem with people making money. I want people to make more money. And most people with social anxiety are terrified of money because money involves dealing with people, the very thing they're frightened of. So by all means, I hope everyone makes lots of money, but I just don't like it when people are not telling the truth because they're doing a disservice to themselves, first and foremost, and to people that they're helping. And people are naive. Someone like myself or you years ago would believe an expert like that on YouTube. I'd believe them because I think, well, they've got a trusted brand, they're a name, they've been on TV, it doesn't matter. Even people that have gone on TV and they've wrote books, they're still not telling the truth because they're protecting their ego, their image, and they're not talking about that you have to put a lot of work in. I tell people the truth. I've always told my clients, if you take a program with me, it's going to be expensive, it's going to be hard work, it's going to be a lot of pain, but if you put the work in and you commit to it, it's going to change your life. And I say to people, and if you can't afford it and you haven't got the money, don't worry, because I make YouTube videos and I put all the stuff for free. So you've got everything's free in the video. I've told you. The way that you overcome, it's programming. The way that you get more control of your social anxiety and improve it is by facing it. So if you go to social events once a month and you went to six social events a year, so you're doing it once every month for 6 consecutive months, you're going to see a dramatic improvement with your social confidence. So that's one area. Another area is a fitness routine gym, which a lot of experts don't seem to talk about. Working out improves your mental health, it lowers social anxiety, and it gets you around people in the gym. So you've got to start going in all the areas that frighten you. You've got to get an action plan and write down, train stations, and go on the train on your own. And it's uncomfortable. It's a very, very uncomfortable practice facing social anxiety. It feels emotionally horrible. But guess what? Over time, it actually starts changing and it feels very good to be around people. You'll enjoy the fear. It will turn from fear to excitement, providing you face it. And you've got to I put years in to lessening my social anxiety. I could easily lie and say, I don't have social anxiety no more, because I could hide behind my confidence and the amount of exposure I've done on my reputation and brand. But who am I kidding? I still get it. I get it at times. I get it around family, close friends, clients, when I go on to shows. Sometimes when I make YouTube videos, I feel anxious before. Today, I don't have it. See, it's a good day. So yes, if you put practice in, you may be able to overcome your social anxiety in periods, but you cannot overcome it 100%. It's not. I want to be proven wrong. If science comes up with a new invention, I will totally say I've got well, of course I've got an ego, but I'm a kind of person where I would say, you know what, I'm wrong. You're right. Yeah, there's a method now. It's not. It doesn't work. There's no. When I was in hospital, doctors and therapists couldn't give me a quick fix to take my mental health away and just take my fear away. Yeah, they helped me to reduce it and they've done a great job, but it's just not enough. And there's too many people reading out of textbooks. You can't overcome social anxiety by reading books. It's bollocks. It don't help. That's just not true. It's all about a lot of these people online. They want to be liked so much by people. They don't want any criticism. They want everyone to like them. They want to do like they want to speak in a way that kind of pleases everyone. You know, but it's polite. It makes you feel good for half an hour, and then you go back and be depressed in your life. You have no progress. With me, I'm going to give you the truth. I'm not here to please you or to lie to you, but actually transform your life in the long run. And someone with social anxiety has to practice for minimum 6 weeks to see some improvement. And then after 6 weeks, when you've got improvement, you've got to practice for 6 months. And then after 6 months, you've got to practice for the rest of your life. So that's the truth. You can massively improve it. You can live a great life. You can get way more socially relaxed around people. But you're always going to, you know, everyone's going to get a bit of anxiety when they meet new people. And some people have less anxiety than others depending on what they went through in their childhood and the work they put in. But it's all about putting in the work. Exposure therapy. Like Jordan B. Peterson said, you know, you don't become less anxious, you become more confident. And that's where I got myself and clients. My social anxiety is here, my confidence is here. When I really suffered badly with it, I couldn't leave the house, my confidence was down the toilet, my anxiety was up here. And as a consequence, I suffered with all kind of mental health problems. So this is the truth. I'm going to make more videos about this. And these so-called experts are not being fully honest because they're too scared to tell the truth. They're too scared of the reaction. And some of them don't know it. And they hide behind big words and psychological words and branding and all this kind. But that's not it. It doesn't matter about the branding or how many views someone's got. It's whether they're telling the truth and can give information that's effective. Go and try my information. Go and practice going to social events. Do exposure therapy. Practice going on dates. Practice eye contact. Practice public speaking. Get uncomfortable. Become fearless and see your life change. Let me know in the box below if this video resonated and it's helped you. I've helped millions of people already. And consider subscribing to my YouTube channel to get more videos on social anxiety control, building your confidence and everything else. Right? Thank you for your support. Become fearless. Bye.